what are your thoughts on the quiet quitting trend? While I see the rise of it after COVID, because there was high burnout during that time, how do you see career growth just by doing the bare minimum? Who would like to go first?
I love this.
You go first, Nicky.
Yours, Nicky.
I read an article on the weekend that someone sent me from Elle around like the decline in ambition, and I'm going to talk off the top of my head, so I'm not going to get it. But like, if you look at the decline, and this is a female's perspective, but it's relevant for all genders, in the girl boss aesthetic, which is basically like capitalism taught us to climb the corporate ladder. You know, everything will be equal if we bang on doors enough, if we're confident enough and bossy enough and assertive enough. You know, if we just keep trying and we keep hustling, everything's going to pay off. And I don't know if it's just COVID, but I think it's just also where we're at in the world, where people are like, I don't actually think that's paid off. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I might have a few more dollars in my purse, but am I really happy with, you know, this hustle that I've, you know, done for someone else? So there's a broad trend around quiet quitting. Quiet quitting has been obviously like the trend for Gen Zs and for younger people, but there's a broad trend, especially around the kind of decline in ambition for all ages, and the decline in status and associated materialism. I think quiet quitting's great to a degree. I think that you should do what your job is. I think that we've manipulated people to feel that they need to do a lot more. I feel if you're empowered and passionate and there's, you know, you want to do those extra hours and you found something at work that really inspires you, then do it. But don't do it because of presenteeism or because of the fact that you feel like you're not employable if you don't. Frankly, I think it's a great thing. I think you should only work more if you really love it and it's filling you. I'll try and find that article.
Being from an older generation, I feel really grateful for the younger generation coming up and challenging this, because I think it's long overdue. And I've been wondering, you know, how is the system going to change? You know, it seems so embedded, this whole workaholism culture. And, you know, it's like you sell your well-being when you know, join an organization. That seems to be like the transaction. But finally, it's like, you know, the little revolution's happening. And but what's good is it's also happening from the top down now. So because we've got all these new regulations coming in that are asking companies to comply with psychosocial risks. So psychosocial risks are things like job design, you know, reasonable workloads. Yes, so it's been very topical. Obviously, this week we had the suicide at Ernst & Young. We don't really know what that was due to, but it has made a lot of people think about workloads and the churn and burn and the true impact that can have on people if it's done over a long period of time. You know, it's serious. So, yeah.
Well, I've been pouring through the data on mentally healthy this morning, and one of the stats so far was that 70% of people have worked when feeling sick in the last month, and 22% did that for more than a week. So that's 1 in 5 doing that. So it's, I mean, I think those are quite worrying things. There are things in our industry where actually people are very driven. They, you know, we do have the highest stressor is still the pressure that you put on yourself, closely followed by the pressure that others put on you, but it's still this kind of intrinsic drive of, you know, what you want to be able to achieve. So I think the quiet quitting thing is probably relevant, but it's slightly different. I don't think in our industry it's a quitting thing. I think it's a look after yourself so you can do your best work, right? I think if you're in a job where you don't feel like there's meaning or purpose, then yes, quiet quitting is relevant, and you just, you know, collect your money and do what you need to do to still have a life. But in ours, I think it's also the case of like, look after yourself so you can be your best. And I think that's quite an important thing for our industry.